All right, welcome back. This is Still the Beam, and we're still in conversation with Dr. Nwokolo. Let's go back to that point. When the authorities, when the powerful people, when the guys in the military continue to fall in the way they are falling and nobody can rescue them, what does it say about the state and vulnerability?
Good. So, to actually define a state, one of the things or some of the characteristics of a state that you see and you say that this is a state is the issue of sovereignty, right? This sovereignty goes with authority and the issue of legitimacy. And then people will talk about geographical entity and people will talk about population. Now, most times the issue of sovereignty and legitimacy is very important. When a non-state actor begins to question the legitimacy of a state, it becomes something to be very worried about. Now, within this legitimacy of the state are institutions of the state. And one of the core institutions of the state is the state security institutions, just like your military. If non-state ragtag actors begin to challenge our army, our military, we're almost moving to becoming a banana republic. For me, it's worrying. It's worrying in the sense that it's almost like saying, if gold can rust, what will iron do? If they can challenge our army and kill a 1-star, 2-star general, what will civilians like me would do? So, when people look at this, the death of the general is very symbolic. Whether he died of snake bite or he died out of complications arising from being in that bush for this number of days, is very worrying. It's very worrying to the stabilization of the Nigerian state. It's very worrying to the growth of the Nigerian state. It's very worrying to everything the Nigerian state believes in. My fear is that if a general can die this way, and we are not even able to attack these people and make a statement, it gives them the urge, it gives them the boldness to try again. And remember, this is not the first general that has died.
Exactly.
So, I mean, this is very worrying.
So it takes me to another question. Before I'm going to just drift a bit, but it's still in line with what we're talking about. Where do we then draw the line when it comes to, or when does it now become very important that state policing becomes enforced, that the citizens might also bear the right or have the right to bear arms? At what point do those arguments begin to play in?
I mean, the issue of state police, most times for me, I tell people that I want to challenge that we'll start having the conversation. That's where we to start from. Will there be landmines? Yes, there will be. Right? I mean, for us in next year, from this month, we're going to start a discussion on state police every month until we go either way. Now, why it's important that we have that conversation is to know where the challenges will come from and find a way around it. Now, nobody says that this kind of state police we're going to have will be the same that we have in Germany or like the same we have in the United States or in India. Nobody said we're going to have 3 levels of state policing, meaning the one that you have in the state, the subnational, the state here, the one you're going to have in the local government, right? Or the ones you're going to have in the ward level as the neighborhood watch or whatever. But having that conversation will help us to say, probably we can redesign our own to fit into our current realities and complicities, something that will work for us. I mean, that's where I think we are having an issue. The conversation have not really been deepened in a manner that we look at the legal challenges, economic, financial challenges, political challenges, socio-cultural challenges, and find a way to start remodeling it to fit into Nigerian realities. Is this something we should look at? I think it's something we should be discussing like yesterday, to ask ourselves those basic questions. The basic question or the basic answer is that where we are today, the Nigerian subnationals are already funding something that seems like state police. There is no state in Nigeria that does not have something that seems like state police. From the Amatekus of this world to the whatever, right? There's a lot of issues to be looked at, including issues of human rights violation that will come with this. I mean, that's where the discussion should start. We can face it, work on the constitution, face it, work on the recruitment pattern, face it, work on how to raise the money, including what is the security vote doing for us presently. Should the constitution, now remember that the security vote is not even in the constitution, right? It shouldn't even be there. So these are the issues the conversation we need to have and find a way to say this might be the way to go. On bearing arms, I'm not sure whether I want to support that. Now, most times to me, it goes between an issue of my heart, right, and my head. Where does my brain takes me and what does my heart tells me? Each time I look at the killings in this country, I'm asking myself, do we go the American route and allow Nigerians to bear arms? Or allow states, the subnationals of each of the states, to see whether they can permit some people to bear arms? And most times I'm asking myself, are there other ways to get around this? Most times I put towards the second option, which is all the retired military officers that were retired prematurely. Is there any way to start pulling them back into the military at this period to see how they can help us? Are there police officers who are of good quality that we need to bring back and start using them to form the kind of this kind of state-armed vigilante services that could help? I mean, these are the thinking that should go into this. But I tell you, Sunis, I don't think we're doing a lot of thinking. Politicking has blinded us in the sense that we get into election. A month after somebody is elected, the person is already thinking of the next election. So politicking has blinded us that we are doing less around the area of governance and doing more in the area of politics. So that's what you're saying.
All right, quickly then. I mean, the DHQ has, pledged that justice is going to come for the fallen soldiers, right? And then hundreds of repentant Boko Haram, in quote, are being reintegrated into society. And then how do you balance it with reports of the repentant terrorists being the ones who are still killing some of our military people? Where do you balance justice, security, and mercy? Where does it all come into play? In fact, tie it to the fact that they've been saying that these people are still our brothers, and as such must be given that fair chance for them to be reintegrated into society. What does it really say about us?
I mean, I wanted to ask the question if some of them have read a lot of literature around issues of terrorism and insurgency. If they have, maybe the route we are currently using in trying to integrate them into the society might not be the route to go. I mean, terrorism is not something you go into and want to pull back. I mean, there are so many indicators to show that most of them got into this with their mind all open. Now, remember that the monies they were paid to even get into this might be what the state may not even can afford at this stage. That's on one side. And on the second side is the need to know that there's different aspects of insurgency and rebel against the state. Permit me to say that if somebody has an intention against the state and is religiously, ideologically driven, it's very difficult.
When ideology meets religion.
So ideology could be that way. But so that's why you saw me link the two. Religiously, ideological, right? It's very difficult. Because religion is something that at times you may not know why you're doing it, but you're doing it. Right? There are things you look in all the holy books. At times you want to question it. But for you to be a faithful, you just have to believe. Even when, if you look at it from a common sense, doesn't really make sense to you. But for you to be good in that religion, whatever religion you believe, you just have to I don't want to use the word be a fool. You just have to accept it. Right?
Prof, we have a few seconds. So I don't want to leave without this question. This whole thing about forgiving them has also brought in the case of, someone like Nnamdi Kanu, and you have someone like Obi speaking about it and all that. What really should we do with that case as we speak? Just in a few seconds before we go.
So the question is, how ideologically driven is Nnamdi Kanu's case? Right? So for me, it's more socioeconomic and political linked issue of marginalization, which is easier to see. Just like the way we granted amnesty to the people from the Niger Delta because everybody saw it. So the question to Nnamdi Kanu is, if Nigeria, the Nigerian state, make your region of the country to feel as part of the Nigerian state, will you rebel again?
That's where we'll leave it. All right, many thanks to Dr. Ndubuisi Nwokolo. There's so much we can say, but we're just pressed for time. Thank you very much for being on the program today.
Thank you.
All right, that's the much we can take on the beam today. As usual, we're going to be leaving you with our top 5 videos of the week. I am Sunes Nathaniel, and as always, I urge you, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep beaming your light where it matters the most. May this great nation continue to rise and flourish. This week, we begin our countdown with a clip in which NIDCOM says that Nigeria will take appropriate actions following the threats by South Africans, forcing Nigerians and other Africans out of their country.
But our responsibility is to stay in touch with them, find out how they're doing, and see what more can be done.
In 4th place, we watch as a private aircraft lands on a road in Delta State, causing a stir. Coming third on our list, police fire tear gas at Showore, other demonstrators during protest in Abuja.
I walked in there into the same policemen we used to fight for. And from the canister of one of their chemical tanks, they poured directly into my nose a chemical I don't know anything about. I don't even know. What I knew next is that I collapsed. But the struggle cannot collapse.
In 2nd place, we see the Oyo State government demolish a building that was used as a hideout by kidnappers of Adelabu's sister and her sons. For our top video this week, police link family members' aid to the kidnapping of Adelabu's sister and her children.
Well, I would say definitely that everybody we need to warn. We need to be cautious of our environment because this, like this one that was on cover, the hideout is in the middle of a community. The house is surrounded by other houses, and nobody at any point call our attention to it. There are to activities that take place in this.
That's it on our countdown today. Join us next week for more.